Hi, this is Paige from Mosaic Moments. If you are new to the Mosaic Moments scrapbook system, you may have seen our grid paper. We use it for every single page we create. I want to mention real quick, if you are unfamiliar with Mosaic Moments, check out our introduction video by clicking the link on the top right corner. So our 12x12 grid paper comes in all sorts of colors. We have solid backgrounds such as our most popular black and white, and we have our collections. These have various textures and color variations. We love using the collections. You can get all of our grid paper on our site, snapincrop.com, so check it out. So the grid paper serves as the foundation for every layout we create. If you take a look at our grid paper, you will see they are filled with a lot of these little lines. By the way, all of our grid paper has the exact same lines. I want to make it clear that this paper is not a template. These lines are actually a guide for alignment. So when you place your paper or photos on the grid, they stay straight, neat, and organized. You don't have to worry about getting a ruler and figuring it all out yourself. If you look at the grid paper, it has 10 rows and 10 columns. This makes designing layouts flexible, so the options of creating on grid paper are endless. It is the foundation that works with your creative style, and you get to be the designer. Some examples are, you can make a layout with 100 1-inch squares, which we have done to create mosaics. You can create a panorama that goes across the grid paper. If you don't want to crop your photos smaller, you can design the layout to fit larger blocks. You can make large strips of your favorite pattern paper to fill up your page. And there's so much more you can do. These are just a few examples. For more layout ideas, you can go to our pattern gallery. We have hundreds of designs to inspire your pages. Click the link on the description below. So we love to use the grid paper because it is flexible. You can create an endless amount of layout designs to fit your style. It's versatile. You can make layouts as simple or as complex and detailed as you want. It keeps all of your elements aligned. Nothing is crooked, and it takes the guesswork out of your placement. It keeps everything neat and clean, with the border all the way around the page and the gutters between each element. This creates a layout that is organized and precise. The grid lines define your space. You know where to put all the elements on your page because you need to cover all the grid lines. They also give you a place to start. Before using the grid paper, it's a good idea to understand the measurements. A 1-inch square can cover one line on the grid paper. But to cover more than one square, you will also need to account for the gutter, which measures 1/8 of an inch. So, if I want to cover 2 by 2 squares, what do you think the measurement would be? Some might say 2 inches by 2 inches, but your square would be too small for the space. If you need to cover 2 squares, you will also need to count the space for the gutter, which measures 1/8 of an inch. So the square would need to be cut 2 1/8 by 2 1/8 inches, and it will fit correctly. One trick to learn is for every square you need to cover, you also need to measure one less gap. For example, if I want to cover 4 by 3 squares in the grid, my measurements would be 4 3/8 inches, also could be measured as 4 squares and 3 gaps, by 3 2/8 inches, or that could also be measured as 3 squares and 2 gaps. Because of these measurements, our dies are designed to fit the grid correctly. A 3 by 3 square die shown here is not 3 by 3 inches. It actually measures 3 by 3 squares in the grid, or 3 2/8 by 3 2/8, to fill in the gutter and square spaces. The dies are simple since you do not need to worry about measuring each element correctly. For more information, click on the top right to watch a video about our dies. If you plan to hand cut your Mosaic Moments pages, you will need to know the correct measurements. But our mat does have a special grid on the back that has the measurements figured out for you. To learn more about cutting with the Mosaic Moments mat, click the link now in the top right corner. Using the grid paper is easy. When we create a layout, we start with the largest elements first and work our way to the smaller ones. This is especially helpful when you want to create your own layout design. The first step is to figure out where you want to place your block and line it up in the top left corner of the space you are covering. Then continue to line up the rest of your blocks. The lines should be completely covered when you are finished. Next, add any strips if you cut them. 1-inch squares are also easy to line up. After you add glue to each of your squares, start lining them up along the corners, and make sure the lines are completely covered. Once all of your squares are placed on the paper, take a look at your mosaic and fix any pieces that might be crooked. Once all of your mats and mosaic pieces are placed, you can add your photos over the mats. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you understand the purpose of the grid paper. While grid paper may seem restrictive at first, you can see how many page designs you can actually create. It's an endless amount and it allows you to scrap your style. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and to be updated on future video tutorials. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.